we're gonna finish at this last segment by getting into. I mean, we've already kind of sort of started arguing about this before we even came back for this segment. And who is the most overrated NFL player playing today? Okay, most overrated player playing today. I have a couple of suggestions, but I want to go and let the group first jump in for this first. Any one of you guys who talks first can take the lead on this and tell me who do you think is the absolute biggest piece of trash, most overhyped player in the NFL today that everybody else absolutely loves, but really it's just a piece of shit. Bryson, you seem to be
Oh
eager,
yeah, I
jumping
am
at the
because
bit.
this is a really good one, and not a lot of people say it.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not gonna say his name before I start out roasting him. So first of all, this player horrible in the red zone, absolutely horrible in the red zone. Has an amazing quarterback, absolutely been top 5 for the past 4 to 5 years. Been to the Super Bowl, can't score in the end zone. Absolutely owns the middle of the 20s. His name's Julio Jones. He is a coward. He has Matt Ryan. He sucks in the red zone. Eli Ample consistently clamped him. It was awesome to see. He's
Mm.
not good in the red zone. He's good between the 20s. He has Matt Ryan. He's, I mean, what
Julio
does he do?
Jones.
What does he do great? What does he
I
do
mean,
that's just super sick?
one thing
Catch
about like,
contested catches.
the whole
Okay, why isn't he
time,
good in the red zone then? Let's talk
the
about
whole,
it.
I mean,
Because everybody keys up on him, right? You don't think that in the
The,
red zone people
the
key up
reason
on him?
here, wait, here. Look,
No,
the
he is
reason
a
why he makes a lot of contested catches is because you guys listening?
yeah.
yeah.
Really get open that much. He doesn't get open. It's Matt Ryan making the good throws.
This
Mm.
is I don't know, guys. I don't know.
One thing I have
This
to
is
I
say
mean-
about like
this is a scolding hot take. I don't know.
I mean, you have
If
a
you go search gifs of Julio Jones, and you will find that in every play he is absolutely blanketed, and Matt Ryan just throws him a dot in the perfect spot. Do it right now.
For a guy that productive, though, do you think he's been productive?
Matt Ryan's been productive.
Yep. So has Julio. Would you not
Uh,
say he's been productive?
He's riding coattails, and unfortunately, Matt Ryan has to deal with this because he's got this shitty receiver that can't score in the end zone, and the only goal of the NFL is to score in the end zone.
So would you say Calvin Ridley is better than Julio Jones in that offense?
This is an interesting response, Mr. Bryson. What is it? Is it Calvin Ridley already better than Julio Jones in the offense?
Yes. No, I'm not saying that, but I would absolutely, if I had to, I would trade Julio Jones right now.
Really?
One thing I have
Wow.
to say about Bryson's take about like the red zone, statistically, hasn't the Falcons been one of the worst red zone teams under their
Wait a
last
minute.
offensive coordinator that they just fired?
I think you could be up under that offensive coordinator.
Well, ever since they lost Kyle Shanahan, they kind of
Yeah, because they had in 2016
and then
they had
last year
top.
they just fucking everyone died on that team. Everyone got
Yeah,
crippling
because
AIDS.
they had like the top red zone offense in 2016 with Kyle Shanahan. And
They
that's
did, but
our
that was
season
most
came in.
that was most because they had the tight end eat in the middle of the field. It's not really because of Julio Jones. He's actually just can't get open in the red zone. It's just a
Alright.
weird thing about Julio Jones. I'm telling you, let's look at the catches. It's Matt Ryan putting the ball in a great spot. Julio Jones is good, don't get me wrong, but he's not like the best receiver in the league, and it's not close. Like I'd take Hopkins all day over Julio Jones.
Oh yeah, obviously DeAndre Hopkins.
Overrated doesn't mean sucks. It just means overrated.
Overhyped for sure. I think what we're talking about here is when we're not talking that you think it's pieces. I know it's a little harsh with my opening, and we think it's not trash and piece of shit, but obviously overhyped. And I can actually see the argument made for Julio Jones, but I think still, I don't know. The guy's so physically gifted; he can pinpoint the ball in the air like anyone's business. And at the end of the day, Matt Ryan can give you a chance, but you still have to go up there and climb that ladder and make that catch. And the catch he made against the Patriots in that Super Bowl was absolutely phenomenal.
To Bryson's point, it was a dot. It was an absolute dime of a throw by Matt Ryan, especially on the run too.
But it was a great throw. I'm not taking anything away
Right
from
through
the
his
throw,
hands.
but it was on. The guy still had to go out there and catch it. It was still a good catch. Austin, do you have one? Most overrated
Give me
player.
1 sec. Can you come back to me?
Donut, what about you?
Is Sarah still here? Let's get Sarah.
All right, Sarah.
You told me I can't say my answer, so I have nothing to say.
All right, say your answer. Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers.
Most overrated. By the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Most overrated, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Is Aaron Rodgers a top 3 quarterback?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
God, no.
Top 5?
Nope.
I take
Not
Mitch
top 5.
Trubisky over him.
Nope.
Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, that's a bad take.
No,
Brian,
no.
or
That's
Jay.
it's a fuck. First of all, it's called a joke, you sleeping ogre. Second,
I get
Oh
that.
my god.
Holy smokes! Holy smokes with the fire. Jake.
No, but
Jake, most overrated player.
Aaron Rodgers.
most overrated player off the top of my head, it's got to either be Travis Kelce
Oh my gosh. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight.
or Jarvis Landry. I'd have to
Okay,
say
that's a
Jarvis
good one.
Landry.
Ooh, good one.
That is a really good one. I think Jarvis Landry is
because
is a 5-yard dash catch version.
I think it was last year or his first year in Cleveland. There was a stat where he was targeted 82 times and he only had 41 catches. That's a catch rate of, if you can't do math, 50%.
Or as we call it, a catch rate of David Boston.
He's the Bill Buckner of wide receivers.
I'm gonna get crucified for mine, but I'm gonna let you continue go. Finish
Hold
up.
on. Tyreek Hill has better hands in the bedroom than Jarvis Landry has.
like don't get me wrong, like Jarvis Landry is a great receiver, but I think he just, not only at LSU got overshadowed by OBJ, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think he's as, good as everyone cracks him up to be, because he basically got thrown out of Miami for what, nothing, absolutely nothing, and then he signs a huge contract with Cleveland.
Mhm.
And he's now their second receiver. They literally had to go out and get OBJ because they had nobody. Or not nobody, but they didn't really trust Jarvis Landry to be their number one guy.
One thing I feel like toward Brashard Perriman.
Austin, your mom's calling you.
Austin, that was very rude.
Your quesadilla's ready.
It's
That's
bedtime.
very
Quesadilla's
rude.
ready.
It's very rude.
Let me go with mine.
Hold on.
Okay, and I have two. Okay, and then I'll let you jump on, Donut. I have two. My first one is who I think is extremely overrated is Zeke Elliott.
Ooh,
I think Zeke is.
He has literally carried the Cowboys.
No, he's overrated.
Literally carried
I think he has been carried by the offensive line, and once the offensive line shows some cracks, I didn't think he could do much with it. I saw him play lots of times. I saw the Cowboys play a lot of times in some primetime games, and he simply didn't do enough to me to say, okay, so there goes Zeke. I don't see any Adrian Peters and Zeke. I think Saquon Barkley is better than him.
That's a bold take.
I think Zeke is extremely overhyped, and it's been a product of what a good offensive line in Dallas has been for the last 5 years, which at times has been the best offensive line in football. So I think Zeke Elliott is extremely overhyped and extremely, extremely overrated.
Except they haven't had a good offensive line for the last 2 years, but go on.
Debatable. Because Travis Frederick was had that disease or whatever, so they have good players. Has Tyrion Smith not been one of the premier left tackles in football?
No, he's terrible. He's been terrible, and he's been injured.
Has Zach Martin? Did he die?
He's been okay, but they started a guy that we cut in training camp after we traded for him at right guard.
That's because of injuries. And Zeke Elliott did not have very
See, your take is so bad. Austin literally just got up and left. That's how bad your take is.
No, it's a great take, and I think Zeke Elliott is extremely overrated because I've seen him play, and I just don't see what's so special about him. I don't see any wild plays from him. I don't see people that. I just don't see it. I know he
Open your eyes, Brian.
He runs behind good a lot. He has Sonny Michel syndrome. When there's a big opening hole, he runs through it and he makes things happen. That's it.
Okay.
I just don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Zeke Elliott.
Brian, you're drinking fully.
My second one is I think who's extremely overhyped is Jamal Adams. I don't see what's so awesome about Jamal Adams. I saw
he's a
him.
leader.
He's
a leader.
He talks big time. He's a big mouth talker and he's a heavy hitter. But to me, he's nothing more than maybe just
He's
a Cam Chancellor light. Okay, and I've seen.
I
saw
Yeah, that's super
I saw-
overhyped. I'd hate
I
to be
saw-
a Cam Chancellor.
light.
Yeah.
Light. Okay, light.
No,
He's a heavy hitter who can't cover that well.
Right.
He's not.
I
A good
agree with
coverage.
you
He's
completely.
not in good coverage. He's not good in coverage. And
He's
I saw
Landon Collins. That's what he
Julian.
is. He's Landon Collins.
I saw Julian Edelman absolutely truck him. Okay, so no, I think he's overrated.
I mean, he also trucked David Andrews too in a play. So
He's a good player.
Okay.
He's not.
I'm gonna
He's
piggyback.
so hyped.
I piggyback
Let's go
quite well.
defensively because that's what I want to do. Let's do defense now. Like, who's the most
well,
overrated?
can I do mine?
Hold on.
Mine's an awesome.
Let me get my pick in
Hey,
too.
I'll take a donut.
Oh, yeah,
and we'll go
that's
to you.
And then I have to go. Yeah.
Just make sure that your round
Yeah.
is not calling you anything. Just make sure you know that your ramen snoop is all good to go.
Austin, get the fuck up here, you little shit!
Austin, aren't you gonna speak to your mom? Anywho, my pick is Dak Prescott. So
That's obvious.
Wait, but does anybody really think he's overhyped? Because I think
Yeah.
he's gonna get paid 32 to 35 million a year. If you watch
I mean, that's
ESPN,
just
I
what the
think
quarterback market dictates. So
yeah, but he's not the quality of quarterback to set the QB market. He should be getting paid like if he played for Tampa Bay, he'd be a $20 million quarterback. He'd be getting Mike Glennon money. But he plays for the Cowboys, so everyone likes him. He's the classic quarterback who completes a decent amount of passes, takes the open guy, and never takes a team on his back. And he's going to get paid $35 million a year. And
Who's more overrated though? Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott?
Oh, it's not even. This is the stupidest debate on earth. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. Dak Prescott will never be an MVP candidate.
I think Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz, so
do I.
Strongly, very strongly.
They don't get to the Super Bowl.
The Eagles lost their starting quarterback this season. I will stand by that, and I will die on that hill.
And they were 12-1 when they lost them, Brian.
What did the Eagles do this year when they got rid of Carson Wentz at quarterback? They actually went on a run, and instead of getting blitzed by New Orleans, they almost beat New Orleans in New Orleans and the fraudulent Drew Brees. Okay,
fuck the dome.
Foles, if Alshon Jeffrey doesn't get Butterfingers, they probably end up winning that game because I strongly believe that Nick Foles would have marched them down the field and won. We might have. If that doesn't happen, I think that the Eagles would have gone back to the Super Bowl and it would have been a repeat. That's how strongly I feel about that entire sequence. There's no way you can tell me. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. The Eagles would have literally. I think they would have literally won that game. They would have beaten the Rams, and they would have gone in a rematch with the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Nick Foles was their quarterback. He was their best quarterback. He still was their best quarterback, and they just gave Carson Wentz a bunch of money. So I get your Dak Prescott, but I think Carson Wentz is
Here's the thing. We're a little bit blinded by a Joe Flacco 2012 run by Foles. Because if you watched him, I watched a lot of Eagles games. I am a closet Eagles fan because of my friendship with one of my good friends. He has games where he does enough to win, and he has games where they have to do everything in spite what he's doing on the field to win games. If you watched him play Atlanta, week 1, terrible. There's no debate that Carson Wentz.
But you talk about week 1. You talk about week 1.
Yeah,
it's week 1.
Yeah, but look what happened. Look what happened. He was not good enough to take them as far as they needed.
Yeah, but it's week 1. It's
Carson
week 1. No.
Wasn't
it's week 1 though. It's week 1. I care. Even Brady has thrown stinkers in weeks 1 through 4. I care about what the guy can do in crunch time when the game's on the line and games that matter. And Nick Foles has proven that he can do that with the Eagles. And Carson Wentz has proven shit that he can't stay healthy. You can't tell me. And I don't want to hear about game 1. It does not matter. I care about when a quarterback can lead a team in crunch time. And if it wasn't for Alshon Jeffrey forgetting how to catch a football, they win that game. He had him in
I
position. He
don't
did
know.
his
I don't know.
job.
I don't know if their defense was good enough to go into Los Angeles though and just upset the Rams. I don't think they really were that good to begin with. I think they caught a Saints team that really slept on them, and a Drew Brees who was really kind of hit a wall, especially late in that season.
Despite all that, if it wasn't for that call that they obviously got them bailed out, then New Orleans still would have won that football game. Despite that, so I don't know how much of an argument you can make that they would have beaten that team versus what they were playing against the Chiefs. I think the Eagles.
First of all,
they were getting
I
hot.
don't even think they should have got by the Bears. And just if fucking Cody Pocky decides not to double doink his way into oblivion, I think the Bears I thought the Bears actually had a really good chance to make a Super Bowl run this year, or at least get to the Super Bowl. I actually felt that they were the strongest team and actually most complete team. I just thought their defense was going to absolutely carry them, and they almost did. But it just didn't turn out the way that it should have. But I think the Eagles got to a position where they were a little bit lucked out, especially in that Bears game, but of course in the Saints game where they just caught a team that really wasn't prepared for them. But overall, I don't think Nick Foles really could have done much, especially with how the Eagles were. I mean, for as much as you can do offensively, the defense was just absolute dog shit at times. I don't think they really could have done much of anything. So to say that they could have gone on a run with Nick Foles, yeah, you can do it with a shit defense. I mean, it's been done before. The Patriots went to the Super Bowl with the 31st ranked defense in 2011. But as for the whole Eagles team, I just don't think they were really prepared. But to just sit there and say that Carson Wentz, though, is overrated for what he's worth, look, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I don't think you should be shitting on him as much as you do. And you got to give Nick Foles credit for obviously what he's done, but the Eagles, like Donut was saying, they don't get into that position if it's not for Carson Wentz weeks 1 through 13. I mean, they were just absolutely incredible, and that was all due to Carson Wentz, who probably should have won MVP if he was healthy the whole year.
I'm just not a big believer in Carson Wentz, and I'm a big believer in show me what you got when the game's on the line. And this is what separates Tom Brady from everybody else. When the game's on the line, Tom Brady can elevate his football game. He can elevate other players. He can do other things. And he's played through injury. So I don't want to hear the injury excuse from Carson Wentz either. He plays through injury. I mean, there's been reports out there that he played with a freaking MCL tear or something like that. I'm just not a big believer in those type of excuses. I guess I'm not.
It's okay to admit you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. It's my opinion, and I think I'm entitled just as much as you're entitled to your opinion. I just think my opinion is that Carson Wentz is extremely overrated, and I think he's more overrated than Dak Prescott. Bryson, let's get a third party perspective here. Do you think that Carson Wentz is more overrated than Dak Prescott at this juncture? Do you think he deserves the contract that he got from the Eagles? And do you think that Carson Wentz could do the things that Nick Foles did with that Eagles team? I know it's a lot of questions, so I'll let you go ahead and just kind of sort them out.
I think they're both overrated. I think Carson Wentz plays for probably the best roster in the NFL for 3 years now. He's played with an amazing GM. He's of course on his rookie salary. So is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott probably worse weapons, but I like Dak Prescott less, but I like Carson Wentz just a little bit more, but he's still very overrated. He played for a very smart offensive coach who actually destroyed Bill Belichick in a Super Bowl in ways many others haven't besides Andy Reid. So I think Doug Peterson helps a whole lot. The offensive line, the players, I think that helps a whole lot, but I don't think that Dak Prescott is – I don't think Dak Prescott's better, but I don't think Carson Wentz like some top 10 quarterback because he's not.
He's not. So that's the thing. You pay a guy $30 million and he's not even a top 10 quarterback, and you're telling me that quarterback right there is some sort of like he's the quarterback. That's the guy.
I mean, Joe Flacco ruined the whole quarterback market. Did you Andy Dalton got paid?
No. I wouldn't say Joe Flacco did.
My opinion,
he did not ruin the quarterback.
No, Derek Carr did. Derek Carr did.
No, at that point it was already skewed. Jimmy Garoppolo, after 10 starts, got $140 million. Are you shitting me? That all translates back to Joe Flacco because he had a magical postseason.
It's not a Joe Flacco thing, Jake. It's the fact that everybody
Quarterbacks don't go to free agency. You have to pay them.
Yeah, you have to pay
them a certain percentage of the cap.
If you think you have a quarterback that's decent enough,
it's gonna be like
you take him. You look, it's a quarterback's league. Everybody knows it. So if you think you have a halfway decent quarterback and you can put an elite roster around it, then you obviously that's what it's going to be. That's what they're going to try to push, and that's what they're going to try to go ahead and win with. It's a quarterback's league. I don't think Joe Flacco did absolute shit to change the quarterback market. I just feel like he did enough. Okay, he did enough. So you mean to tell me that it was just Joe Flacco? Nobody thinks of the Ravens and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis in that defense. They don't think they have any input in that Super Bowl run whatsoever.
They do, but Joe Flacco in that entire Super Bowl run did not throw an interception at all. And all he did was just air the ball out and either got pass interference calls or just magically completed a pass that went for a long gain or a touchdown. I mean, the fucking game in Denver.
I mean, for all
more play.
Yeah, but for all you shit on Joe Flacco, every time Joe Flacco has gone to New England, has he not played well? Joe Flacco has a history of always playing really well against the Patriots in the playoffs. Joe Flacco hasn't played well against the Patriots?
I'm not saying Joe Flacco's a bad quarterback.
I'm saying though, but I'm telling you,
better than
you're making it sound like
it's been a whole domino effect.
You're making it sound like he's a piece of shit. He's not. He actually has performed in the playoffs. You pay a quarterback. You pay a quarterback that performs well in the playoffs. This is the same thing arguing with Nick Foles. If a quarterback in the playoffs, when it counts, can get the job done and can get you plays and get you wins, does it fucking matter how he does it? He does it.
When's the last time he brought a team to the playoffs, Brian?
I'm sorry. I just don't
2014.
see it. I don't see it.
Don't give me that excuse.
Can I give my overrated player?
Okay, wait. Just to conclude, Brian does not like a Carson Wentz who completes 70% of his passes and has a higher quarterback rating than Tom Brady last year.
His yards per attempt sucked. And he was dinking and dunking all year.
He was 11th in the league.
I know where you're going with this, and by no means do I think that Joe Flacco is better than Carson Wentz, or am I trying to elevate Joe Flacco over Carson Wentz? I just simply think that one quarterback has gotten it done on the big stage, and the other one hasn't. So I can see why one got paid, and I can see why
Carson Wentz hasn't had the opportunity to because he got hurt.
He's a coward. He should play hurt.
True, he should be like Brady and so he put me in coach a week after the ACL surgery.
Austin, give me your player. Give me your overrated player.
Don't hurt yourself.
So my overrated player is Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Because this is my stance on this. Because James Conner had a similar season to what Le'Veon Bell season would have had in Pittsburgh. So it's like he was replaced, obviously, but like there was no other misstep in it, and it worked a lot smoother with obviously Juju and stuff like that, and like run pass option was a lot better. Obviously, he's not the same type of receiver as Le'Veon is, James is, but he's a better rusher because he's more of a he's a different style of runner. But yeah, that's my overrated player.
Le'Veon Bell has this whole running style where he doesn't. He waits, and it's something that's been very successful for him, and he really kind of changed the whole running back game with that. And I know what you're getting at, but I think what you're trying to say is that Le'Veon Bell isn't good, rather than Le'Veon Bell is overrated.
I
mean, he was also behind this top 10.
But would you say that a lot of Pittsburgh players are overrated though? Or would you say would you say a lot of Pittsburgh players are overrated because? Mike Wallace left Pittsburgh, and he was nothing out ever. He was never the same in the same way that he was in Pittsburgh. Martavis Bryant left Pittsburgh, and he didn't do shit in Oakland.
I mean,
now you have Antonio Brown. Do you think Antonio Brown's going to be able to do what he did in Pittsburgh? I don't think so.
I think he could. I don't think he will, but I think he could.
I mean, he definitely could, but he has nowhere near the same quarterback as he had done.
Bryson, I see you smirking, man.
Yeah, Bryson has that.
Yeah, what do you have? What are you gonna say?
I'm just laughing because I want to say what Austin's trying to say is that running backs don't matter. You literally just took a second year or whatever he was running back and filled him in for what you guys would call the best running back in the league, and he literally had the same exact production.
Right. It's like if you put any running back in the Cowboys' backfield, he'd have the same production as Zeke. What do I know?
And guys,
Le'Veon Bell isn't reliable. He's always been injured in big moments, and that's
He's
kind of
also
the
a
reason
beast, and he sucks at rapping.
he does.
God, that
Skip
was
Bayless
Guys-
is rent free in his head.
Terrible rapper.
That was so
People-
bad.
People think that Le'Veon Bell taking a year off is going to extend his career.
It's not.
Brian can probably attest to this. Spending a year in Miami with 2 girls in your bed won't extend your career. He took at least 2 years off his career by all the crap he's doing in Miami.
Yeah.
Coke and food.
And he probably has AIDS now.
Well, most likely.
Did you guys see the story of like how like the arrest or like the what happened in his like place where like the girls got like arrested?
No. I don't.
No, I didn't hear
Were
about
you
that.
there, Austin?
Yeah, Austin,
Oh.
Austin said. Those were the 2 girls he was talking about earlier.
Austin, this is not TMZ. Okay,
Get it.
we're just not
You
gonna.
remember-
we're just gonna say.
Do you remember the stripper he was with and how just that
Brent
was
Bayless.
All right, so just to end this debate and go ahead and end the show before we log off here. Do the Eagles make the playoffs? Since we had such a big debate about Carson Wentz, do they make the playoffs? I want to say I just want a yes or no. I don't need to go into the hows or the whys or not. Do the Eagles make the playoffs? Sarah, do the Eagles make the playoffs?
I don't remember what I said in our prediction, so I'm gonna say no.
Mm-hmm. Austin, do they make the playoffs?
I'll say it's a wild card.
Donut, did the Eagles make the playoffs with Carson Wentz, the coward?
They're going to win the division, and a lot of people are saying that they're the best team in the NFC.
Okay, debatable. Jake, do they
That's
win,
the Falcons.
make the
Yeah.
playoffs?
Yep, I had them winning the division at 10-6. I think they'll be the number 2 seed. That was my prediction. So I do think they'll make the playoffs.
Bryson, did the Eagles even make the playoffs this year?
They're gonna win 10 games sleepwalking.
They still have a really good roster, guys.
Only because they
Yeah.
have to play Daniel freaking Jones twice,
I mean,
so they
yeah,
automatically get 2 victories already because they play Daniel Jones on the Giants.
And the Redskins.
Well, so
stink.
do the Redskins and Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think the Redskins are going to surprise a lot of teams
Oh.
this year
Redskins got 2 very good quarterbacks.
because they were
Very
6
good.
they were 6-2
Yeah.
before Alex Smith shattered his leg and the entire
Yeah.
team just crumbled after that.
Yeah, literally, they signed Luke Blanco and had him as their starting guard.
I mean, if Darius guys can do anything for that team and complement
I hope
Adrian
so.
Peterson, and if Adrian Peterson can maintain some sort of level that he did last year,
Although
Then
it
maybe.
depends on Jordan Reed.
Maybe.
It depends on if Jordan Reed decides he wants
I,
to. Be tied
I'm
up.
not counting on Jordan Reed anymore. He's
Neither.
literally, a leaf blower can break him. So who knows what happens with Jordan Reed?
He's glass. Yeah.
By the way,
Melvin-
my prediction is that the Eagles do not, in fact, make the playoffs.
L.
Shocker.
Make the playoffs.
Pretend-
Brian,
Brian, are you gonna read the mailbag?
Yeah.
No, we don't have time for mailbag, guys. We ran out of time.
Just
we literally,
do
this is a
Do the
podcast.
Oklahoma. Do the Oklahoma one. I want to get the Oklahoma one out of the way.
Let's
And
do
then
it.
Donut, you can ask this
Do
one.
it.
Go ahead, ask a question.
Okay, we got 2 questions here. We'll start off. Who on Patriots Twitter could beat Bryson in an Oklahoma drill?
Me.
And,
Uh,
and
I'd take
in the
that.
parking lot, of course.
In a parking lot.
You guys already know my
Shout out 3-year Letterman.
Shout out to you.
Bryson, next time you're in Massachusetts, we're gonna have an Oklahoma drill in a parking lot, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see if you can beat me.
I miss
Team
Oklahoma. Drill.
Bryson. Honestly, it's the only logical answer that I have for him is Dave Tank.
Dave Tank wins.
Dave Tank will destroy you. In the
I mean, Dave Tank is a tank, so.
Yeah,
Dave Tank's got to be at least 6'9".
he's 6'9", 400 pounds, and he's pure muscle.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
just a pretty face, guys. I'm not a guy you want to try to take down. I'm
The
from
only
West-
guy that I legitimately think could take Bryson is a guy called Melvin, and he's a Patriots Twitter guy.
Oh, what's up, Melvin? You got something to say? Your
Melvin
name's
from
pretty dumb.
Tennessee.
Your name's dumb, bro. You're from Tennessee. Sucks.
Oh, clip it, Brian.
Racist.
Yeah.
See if it's recorded.
Racist Melvin.
And-
Confederate flag
He-
guaranteed.
he's-
Dukes of Hazzard in his VCR right now.
He's a system.
Melvin,
Tennessee.
you coward. You are a system, Melvin. You can't do this. You can't do what I do.
What was the next question, Donut?
Wow.
Who on Patriots Twitter would lose to Brian in an Oklahoma drill?
Shabs. Shabs is getting run flat over. He's been talking a lot of mad shit too, Shabs, if you're listening. Shabs. I ain't putting up with it anymore.
I'll give a suggestion here.
Smelly Shabs.
Elton.
I do think Brian could beat Sarah in an Oklahoma draw. I'm not gonna lie. I'll give him that one.
That's just
Wow.
because he knows what it is.
Wow. Yeah.
I'd say Brian can beat maybe Elton too.
Yeah, Elton's like 150 pounds and he's dumb.
I could beat Rob D.
No,
No
way.
chance. No chance.
Rob from the streets.
That guy would beat you 3 periods.
It'd
No,
take all of
I
us to
could-
rough Rob up. I guarantee it.
Coked up freaks are freaks, man.
Rob
right.
with 2 B's.
Rob
He's
with
got
D.
2 B's in his name. Do you really want to try this, man?
The
He
second,
doesn't care
the
about the
second B's
social
for
He
stigma.
what?
doesn't care. He
One
doesn't
B.
care.
Rob-
Rob,
does
with,
not
Rob
care.
with 2 B's and the second B's for
He
what?
might be a Cyclops.
And
Alright.
and he'll tell you, no, it's Rob, not Rob.
I'll
tell you.
All right, guys, we're out of time. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. I want to give you guys also some news that we have coming up. We will have Mr. Bryson, NFL in the X-Men weeks, joining the Pones Media family, and he will be running his own show. He will be doing his own show. It'll be NFL based, and I think he's going to have a very awesome co-host to present. So we are very excited to have him come on and for this project. So if you're listening, yeah,
I have an
here.
announcement.
He's here to stay, and he's going to terrorize you all
I have an
with his
announcement.
terrible takes. What?
You lost your virginity to a stripper, Brian. That's all.
All accurate. So like I said,
There are worse things.
Yeah, we're very happy to have
Did I
Bryson.
mention it was a male stripper?
Yeah, I was too. That being said,
I want Austin to thank me.
Austin, please
Thank you,
Bryson.
Bryson.
Congratulate me as well.
Austin, can you tell us about the Queens podcast coming up?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Meet your 5 queens.
Yeah. So guys, we also are going to have our all girls podcast dropping this week. We're very excited about that. So please listen in, rate and subscribe us on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor. We're also on Bullhorn and other media streams. And with that all being said, we would like to thank everybody else for the support for listening. We reached all-time high of 427 listeners for our podcast last week on the NBA Special Pod. So that's great. Thank you everybody for the support on that. With all that being said, Austin,
Follow me
where
on
can
Twitter.
people? Austin, where can people find you online, my friend?
They can find me at Austin_Whittle, and Whittle spelled Whittel.
Okay, Mr. Donut, Mr. Boston Cream himself, the myth, the legend. Where can people find you online, my friend?
People can find me at It's Boston Cream. If you're gonna follow me, make sure you unfollow Brian. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Oh my God, I hate you so much. Sarah, our lovely Sarah, our correspondent Sarah, who also, like I said, she will be running the Girls Pod. She is basically the backbone of our channel here. Sarah, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at SarmarXO.
Okay, and Jake the Snake. I hate you so much, Jake. Where can people find you online, Jake?
They can find me on Twitter at Brian's a bitch, or Instagram at Brian is a little boy with a small dick. Brian loves cops.
Or where can they find you?
They can find me at JKSnake20 on Twitter.
Okay. And you guys can find me online at Ariola Bry on Twitter. You can also follow our Pones. You can also find us on Pones Media on Instagram. And
Where else, Brian? Where else?
And you can also find us.
You're. Mhm.
No, you cannot find me in Austin's belly button, but you can definitely find us at oh god, I hate you guys. MuffinTop007 on Instagram. That's MuffinTop007 on Instagram. And like I said, you can follow us on our media Twitter handles, also on Pones Media on Twitter as well. We'd like to thank everyone for joining and coming through. We are out. This is Uninterrupted.